Today on the Trent Out Loud podcast. Day one of the Diddy trial is officially underway, and reports are that one juror has already almost been selected, and y'all are going to be shocked to find out why. The potential first juror in the Diddy case is a massage therapist, and he has been selected because of his expertise in baby oil. How are you going to be selected because you're an expert in baby oil? Yes, Your Honor, I know how it lathers just perfectly. I know the right amount to use. What are we talking about? What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, depending on what time zone you're in, it's Monday night or Tuesday morning. And to my Tuesday morningers, y'all know what I say every Tuesday. Still not one of our favorite days of the week, but let's keep it positive. We made it through Monday. All right, y'all. I have a good show set up for you guys today. I have 5 lead stories. We're going to kick it off by talking about that there is already major problems in jury selection. The defense for Sean Diddy Combs does not think they will get a fair and unbiased jury in New York City. The judge in the Diddy trial starts off day one with a joke about Diddy. Sources say the first juror in the Diddy trial has already been selected, and you're going to be shocked to find out why. Diddy admits to the entire courtroom that he's feeling nervous and needs a break. And Kevin Garnett gets into an argument with his girlfriend. The cops are called. They're trying to lie and keep it quiet, but people are talking. In quick news, we're going to talk Kanye West, Drake, Donald Trump, Monique, Shannon Sharpe, Brittnay Renner, and Kevin Gates. As always, we're going to close out the show with comments of the day, social discussion of the day, question of the day, and a little bit of sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, or your devices up. I'm about to start this show. Let's go. All right, guys, before we kick off the show, I have a little bit of breaking news that came out since we recorded the show. The first celebrity has thrown shade at Diddy. Aubrey O'Day shades Diddy as trial begins. We all know that she is involved with Diddy some way in this, so she's the first celebrity to say something. Bigger than that, though, the Diddy trial has no plans to sequester the jury. Jurors can go home every day, but they cannot talk about the case. Okay, we're going to talk about this a little bit more tomorrow. Like I said, this just came out right now. But this is huge. Normally in big trials with big celebrities like this, you cannot send the jury home because you don't want them to hear and get misled of what podcasters are saying, content creators, what's going on in the news. You normally want to keep them sequestered so that they only hear what the jury is, what the prosecution and the defense or the judge is saying. This is huge for the trial. I haven't yet decided if this is good for the prosecution or bad, or good for Diddy or bad. I'm not too sure yet. We'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow. But as it stands now, there's nothing physically stopping the Diddy juries from going home and watching the news. Potential jurors are instructed to avoid all media coverage and not go on the internet or social media with regards to this case for any purposes. That entry goes on to forbid discussion to the case with family, friends, or co-workers or anybody until the trial is done. What? Why would they let the jury go home? You think the jury's not going to go on social media? They're not going to go on their phone? They're not going to talk to people? This is shocking to me, man. I really don't know how to feel about this. We'll talk about it more tomorrow. Until then, let me know what you guys think about them, the judge letting the jury go home. I'm amazed. Lastly, the last thing that just came out, the Diddy trial, accusers may show up to the NYC trial to stare down the alleged accuser, who is Diddy. So this is not really anything that the judge has allowed or not, but from what we've been hearing, there's an organization that's going to try to put all the people that accuse Diddy in civil cases and try to get them inside the courtroom. The jury is not going to really know who they are, but I think they want to do this to kind of like intimidate Diddy or kind of maybe just get him off his game a little bit. I don't think that's really necessarily a big deal. I'm still shocked that they're letting the jury go home. In this day and age, with all this misinformation and everybody covering the trial, they're going to let the jury go home? I'm shocked. We'll talk about this more tomorrow. Let's just get on with the show. Our first lead story. Diddy, the day has come. Jury selection will be a major challenge. All right, there is crazy news already coming out of New York City. My sources are telling me that Diddy's defense team is already working on postponing the trial because they feel like Diddy will not get a fair jury in New York City. They're working on having it postponed. They're working on having it moved or having a mistrial. It's already going down. All right, let me get to this and then I'll give you a little bit more info after. Diddy will finally face a jury of his peers who will determine his fate for the rest of his life, but finding the right jury for each side is going to be a major task. The defense will have a much more difficult time because there's no such thing as an unbiased jury. Good luck finding a prospective juror in New York City or anywhere else in the country, for that matter, that hasn't formed an opinion about this case. Therein lies the major problem, but I'll get to that in a second. Since the public view is Diddy is guilty, prosecutors have a big edge. As for the defense, the way to go about asking questions regarding bias is not simply asking if the prospective juror can have an open mind. The way to do it, they ask if potential jurors have ever held a view that was important to them, but were able to change their mind, and they need to be specific. There were other factors to consider. The Cassie video can seal Diddy's fate even though he's not being charged for the brutality seen on that video. But it certainly tells a powerful story. In TMZ's latest documentary, The Downfall of Diddy, they presented the case to a mock jury, and a number of jurors said their thought process began and ended with that video. There are also logistical issues. A number of prospective jurors will be excused for hardship reasons. Sitting through a 2-month trial during the summer is a deal breaker for many. Many will also be excused because they cannot overcome their biases, so the pool will almost immediately shrink. Race will inevitably play a huge part in the case. It will be interesting to see what each side wants in terms of diversity. Likewise, it's a dice roll in deciding whether a man or woman will be harsher or more sympathetic to Diddy. The judge will be asking questions to the juror, not the lawyers. But with all the lawyers at the counselor's table, keeping them quiet, well, good luck. All right, let's just jump to a video quick. Take a listen.
There's no question, Diane, that probably everybody who's called in for jury duty here today has heard of Sean Combs. How could you not? So the question is going to be, can you be fair?
All right, so it should not come as a surprise to the defense that Diddy is going to have a very hard time getting an unbiased jury. We all knew that. However, like I've said to you for the past couple of weeks, my sources have told me that Diddy's defense team is working on delaying the case, getting a mistrial, working on an appeal. Now, I don't need sources to tell me that the defense team is working on that because that's the first line of defense for any defense team. Every time there's an objection, every time there is a battle over what evidence should come in, every time there's a battle over if they should get bail, about preparation, delaying the trial, all that is doing is setting up motions and grounds for a mistrial or grounds for appeal. So when you hear about, oh, we're not getting a fair jury, etc., again, that's just Diddy's team setting up a mistrial. I don't think they're actually going to get it, but they have to try. It's what they're paid to do, all right? There's 8 lawyers on Diddy's team. Having said all of that, to be fair, if you do think about it, the Constitution says you have to give the defendant a trial with a jury of his peers with an unbiased jury. But like that article says, of course you cannot find an unbiased jury in New York City, but what state in the US can you go and not find somebody in the country who doesn't know something about this case or Diddy? So it's an irrelevant point, but you're going to hear about it all this week because, like I told you, they're setting up mistrial, trying to move the trial. And I'll tell you why there's the thought process of trying to move it, let's say to LA or move it to I don't think they can move it to Miami because there's nothing that's happened, or I don't think there's any evidence found in Miami. But any delay, any sort of moving the date or moving the trial is an advantage to the defense. It's advantage to Diddy. Anytime there's a delay, anytime there's anything dragging their feet, it's just not good. And that is their first line of defense. Before we even get to what the prosecution has, it's how could we slow down this trial? How could we drag it? How could we get people fed up? How could we get people not wanting to try to do this trial? So just buckle yourselves up. That is what we're going to be in for this week. Like I said, they'll probably end up finding a jury of 12 and 6 alternates. They will probably end up still having the court case here in New York. But Diddy does have some very, very high-end, high-priced lawyers. If they do make a strong enough case after they went through the 700 juries that, like, listen, we can't find anybody who's biased, you might see a delay and you might see a move. That's what I'm hearing, and that's what people are telling me, okay? Let's go on. I have 4 more stories to tell you, and actually one very interesting. They think they already found one juror. Let's just go to the second lead story. Our second lead story, the Diddy trial. Judge jokes about nicknames, gives a shout out to Lord of the Rings. All right, this might seem something minimal, but I really wanted to highlight it because every single thing in this case is going to be important. All right, so give me a second and I'll let you know why I feel like this is important. The first day of the federal racketeering and sex trafficking trial of Sean Diddy Combs began this morning with some lighthearted comments by the judge, who mentioned Diddy's various nicknames over the years and a nod to the size of potential jury pool and the length of questionnaires each individual filled out. As proceedings got formally underway, the judge made a remark comparing the size of the list of prospective jurors that both sides will question on the stand and the questionnaire of people and places in the case to the famously vast Lord of the Rings trilogy of novels. As you know by now, there are many challenges on both sides of jury selection, which is expected to take place over several days. Diddy himself arrived at the courthouse in Lower Manhattan with a full head of gray hair and a gray beard and wearing a formal suit and reading glasses. The judge previously granted Diddy requests to wear civilian clothing to the trial instead of jail scrubs. He was allotted a limited list of very specific items to choose from, and the famously fashionable defendant predictably showed up in style. The judge also referred to the rap mogul's many monikers, describing the defendant as also known as Puff Daddy, Diddy, other names, and Love. Combs legally changed his middle name to Love in 2018. The judge notes Diddy has pleaded not guilty to all charges and is presumed to be innocent. The judge also addressed the defendant and the prosecution about potential privacy issues in testimony, noting they'll be addressed via sidebar conversations. He said he expects the trial to last about 8 weeks. Diddy has a team of 8 attorneys on his side. We reported on a list of lawyers that was just finalized last week. The judge also dropped a quick comparison to the Giselle Maxwell case, a former girlfriend of convicted P-word Jeffrey Epstein, who's serving 20 years in prison in Florida for similar crimes to what Diddy's charged with. Okay, a couple of things I wanted to note in this article. The first thing is the lighthearted jokes, the Lord of the Rings, the Diddy, the name. Now, why that is important is we heard reports over the past couple of months that the judge wasn't too fond of Diddy, denying all of these bail requests. He didn't like things that he heard that he was doing while he was jailed in MDC. And it seems as if something has changed a little now. I'm not too sure what. I'm trying to ask people what they feel like it is. But they're getting the sense in the past week or so that the judge is warming up to Diddy a little bit. Now, yes, while the judge is there to just preside over the law, you still want the judge to be in your favor. Everybody wants, the prosecution wants the judge to be in their favor, and so does the defense. For the next couple of weeks, as we report this, I'm going to go back to Young Thug's trial a lot because that's the most recent trial of a famous person, and they had sort of similar charges, the sense that one was a RICO case and Diddy's charge are a RICO case. Young Thug's had some other charges that were actually harsher than Diddy, so we have some similarities. They had the judge replaced 2 times in that case, and then they got a third judge that ended up really liking Young Thug. So what I say to that is, it's very, very important. So this first day, the fact that he's joking around with Diddy, oh, this is a big novel like Lord of the Rings. Hey, Diddy, love, Puff Daddy, ha ha ha. That's a great start. Now, what one person told me, they think for the last week or 2 weeks, the shift was the judge was getting a little fed up with the prosecution. If you guys remember, I told you that the defense was asking the judge, hey, judge, can you delay this trial for 2 months? Because the prosecution, they're playing games. They just put on superseding indictments. They laid on some charges, and they're not giving us all the evidence that we need to comb through, and it's a lot. Now, although the judge says, no, you cannot have a delay, you have 8 lawyers, you have all of these 4 law firms, you have enough manpower, man and woman power to go through all of these things, the judge is still not happy with the prosecution, although he sided with the defense. I feel like the judge just wants to get it on with, wants to get the trial started. So again, every time the defense complains about something, it's not to actually win. It's to get the judge on their side. It's to get a mistrial. And it's also to have evidence to go for appeal. So just always keep that in the back of your head. It's kind of like in a basketball game where, a player keeps complaining to the ref, yo, ref, he's fouling me, he's fouling me, he's fouling me. You're not going to get a foul because they didn't call it, but the ref is going to really be looking out the next play or the next couple of plays if whoever the player is like, yo, Draymond keeps fouling me. Okay, cool. We're going to call a foul. So it's good that the judge seems to be not on Diddy's side, but has a positive interaction with Diddy. Okay. Now, what else did I want to talk about? I also wanted to talk about the Diddy's wardrobe. Okay. Now, you're not in when you're in federal custody, you're not allowed to use hair dye. So that's why his beard and his hair is gray. And while I like that he's showing up with, in his suit and whatever, and not in the jail scrubs, that's standard. I think, this is just my opinion, I think Diddy should cut his hair off and cut his beard off. Depending on the jurors that are selected, this case is going to be talking about pretty much sex all the time. The defense have already told us they're going to set this up as Diddy and his girlfriends, they had this wild life that they both liked. The prosecution is going to try to tell you that his girlfriends didn't like it. However, it's going to be revolving around sex. And with Diddy sitting there with a gray beard and gray hair in this suit looking like an old man, I feel like it's going to come off like he's a dirty old man. If I were him, okay, you cannot dye your hair, I would shave it off and at least appear younger, because indirectly, people kind of give a younger person that kind of leeway, like, oh, you're young and you're famous and you're rich. Like, okay, I get it. But if you come across as like a dirty old man that's rich, i.e. Shannon Sharpe, right? Oh, at 56 years old, what are you doing? You automatically, the presumption of guilt is already there. So if I was on Diddy's side, his lawyers or publicists or whatever, I would have him shave that off and appear younger. That's just my 2 cents with the gray hair. And what else did I want to mention? I think that was really about it. Oh yeah, another bad sign that I felt coming from this article is the fact that the judge mentioned Jeffrey Epstein. If I were his lawyers, I'd be like, object, do not mention that name at my trial. But that is a plus for the prosecution. You want him to be associated with that. You want the jurors to hear that, and automatically you just have a presumption of guilt, right? So anyways, that's the one kind of negative thing that I heard coming out of the judge, where everything else seemed to be positive. But if the judge is already thinking that this is like Jeffrey Epstein, then Diddy is already done, right? So anyways, that's it from this article. Move on to the next story. Our third lead story. Potential Diddy juror is a massage therapist whose sister has a history of DV, meaning that her husband put hands on her, all right? On the first day of the Diddy trial, the judge is asking prospective jurors about their celebrity knowledge and their own personal background based on answers to a lengthy questionnaire each has already filled out. And one of the candidates had an occupation and a family relation that could affect both sides of the case. In a packed NYC courthouse Monday morning, the federal judge began questioning possible jurors. And juror number 2 job is particularly interesting in the context of Diddy's alleged crime, as is his sister's relationship past. Juror number 2 happens to be a massage therapist who probably knows a thing or two about baby oil, which will play a huge role in the Diddy case. As you know, Diddy bought baby oil in bulk to use for his freak-offs. The judge asked jury number 2 about celebrities, asking if there were any famous people on the questionnaire he knew of. Juror 2 responded saying he knows of or may have rubbed elbows with actors Michael B. Jordan and Mike Myers, and he mentioned 2 locations on the list of questions, 2 fancy Manhattan hotels. The judge asked juror number 2 if he could be fair based on his knowledge of the stars, and he said he could. Then the judge asked about an answer the guy gave to question number 10 in the jury questionnaire. Juror number 2 explained that his sister's husband put hands on her 2 years ago, and they ended up getting divorced. But juror number 2 told the judge he could still be impartial. As you know, the now famous tape of Diddy putting hands on Cassie in the hotel will likely be a major factor in this trial. Prosecutors did not challenge juror number 2, but Diddy's defense attorney, Mark Agofino, did. However, the judge overruled him and told Agofino he could use his presumptory strike to remove the potential juror without needing to provide any reason. As we reported, picking a jury will be a major challenge for both the prosecution and the defense for a variety of reasons. All right, from what I've heard, the Mark Agofino did not use his preemptive strike. They have a certain limited amount, so he can't just be like putting out strikes everywhere. I'm not too sure yet. I'm waiting as I'm recording this to see if he is in. From what I've heard, I think this guy is in. I think this is the first guy who is in. Now, what I told you guys yesterday, which is very, very, very important, even though Diddy's defense team does not like this guy, you have to remember, and this is going to be key to remember, I might remind you guys every day, there's 12 jurors. The prosecution, they need all 12 to give back a verdict of guilty. All the defense needs is one person to say not guilty. You have a hung jury and the charges are dropped. Diddy is a free man. This is why Mark Agofino is not using his strike. All right, you want to let one guy go through that's a massage therapist. His sister's husband put hands on her. He might not like Diddy. I'm not sure of his race. I'm waiting to hear back with that as well too. But for now, on day 1, I haven't heard them using any of their strikes. They will wait and see and really hone in on, from what I've heard, 3 to 4 jurors that they feel they could be on their side. And you might lose 1 or 2 and only keep like at least minimum 1 that is going to be on Diddy's side. That's what they're hunting for. So we'll see what goes on in day 2. Our 4th lead story, the Diddy trial. I'm feeling the nerves. Diddy seeks relief during first day in court. All right, what I'm going to do over the next 2 months covering this trial, I'm going to do my best to highlight all the little nuances that I feel other content creators or news stations might miss, okay? We're going to harp on the small things on the Trent Out Loud podcast. Why? Because I have been through enough court cases and have strategized enough with lawyers to tell you that every single tiny thing in a courtroom is done for a reason. Listen to this and then I'll let you know some more details after, all right? Diddy got all sorts of emotions as jury selection began in his SCX trafficking trial, and he sounds anxious. The Bad Boy Records founder is in court as potential jurors are questioned by the judge, and at one point, Diddy spoke up to reveal some of the nerves he's feeling. Diddy told the judge, "I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm a little nervous today." The admission came as Diddy was requesting a 2-minute bathroom break around 90 minutes into the jury selection process. At first, the judge didn't let Diddy reveal himself, but after Diddy revealed that he was nervous, the judge granted him a bathroom break. Hey, when you gotta go, you gotta go. The judge is hoping to get jury selection finished in 3 days, and he's already joked at the size of the list of prospective jurors that both sides will question on the stand, and the questionnaire of people and places in the case. It's like the Lords of the Rings trilogy. All right, we told you about that joke a little bit earlier. All right, listen. Why this is important, okay? Diddy is trying to take every opportunity he can get to speak. Diddy will never take the stand in this trial unless he feels like they're totally going to lose. It will be a last-ditch effort. The last hurrah will be a Hail Mary. But from what we could gather now, he's not going to take the stand. So, which means he barely has an opportunity to speak. Him being able to say, oh, excuse me, Your Honor, can I go to the bathroom? I'm just a little nervous today. It humanizes him. It lets the judge know, hey, I'm not this rich, egotistical guy that's in the music industry, used to having his own way. I'm not sitting down here just nonchalant, like I don't care. Hey, I'm nervous. I got to go to the bathroom. I'm a little bit scared. That humanizes him. And I heard he did it around a juror that the defense liked. It could be a little tap underneath the table, a little wink. It could be like, hey, when I put my pen here, that's when you go say that you have to go to the bathroom. That juror hears, hey, he has to go to the bathroom. Why did he have to go to the bathroom? I heard he was nervous. I'm a little bit anxious. I don't care if you're completely innocent. Let's say in your head, you're innocent and there's no way that you could have any evidence against you. You're still going to feel nervous. You have to feel nervous. So it's not a negative thing to feel nervous. It's actually a very positive thing. I have been trained to be on the stand. I have been trained to do these things. I have been trained by psychologists. And that is one of the things that they will let you know is to humanize yourself and let somebody know that you are have the same feelings as them, that they can identify. Everyone's a little nervous today. It's the first day of a 2-month trial of the century. So this was a brilliant strategic move by Diddy's defense team. And like I said, I'm going to look out for these little nuances that they will be doing. Every single thing, the way that Diddy sits, the way that he whispers to his lawyer, everything. The jury will be fixated on Diddy and be watching his every move. That's why I think the one mistake they did is having him show up with this gray hair and these reading glasses, sitting there looking like an old man. Like, that is such the wrong move. You need to have him show up looking young, fresh, and like he is this, young guy that gets a lot of girls and lives this young lifestyle. And you hope that some older people will look and be like, oh, whatever, he's young, you can forget about that. Of course they know his age, but it's just perception, right? Anyways, just wanted to throw that in here. Let me know what you guys think about these 4 stories. How do you think day 1 went? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Our 5th lead story. Kevin Garnett had a heated argument with his girlfriend and the cops were called. Okay, guys, I don't know if you guys have heard this yet, but I heard that Kevin Garnett is trying to keep this under wraps. There's a lot more going on. There's potentially a civil case and maybe even a criminal case. And Kevin Garnett is trying to keep this under wraps. This happened a month ago, and now this is leaking out today. This could be a whole new Shannon Sharpe Diddy thing. Just listen, all right? Kevin Garnett and his girlfriend were involved in a heated argument late last month, and cops were called to the scene, but both sides are now saying things never got out of hand. Law enforcement sources tell TMZ News that Garnett's girlfriend called 911 just before 2 a.m. on April the 27th to report that she and Garnett had been involved in a domestic dispute at their Los Angeles area residence. We're told when officers arrived, Garnett had already left, but nonetheless, they took a report. They noted that his girlfriend did refuse medical attention after they asked if she needed it. Sources familiar with the situation told us that Garnett was trying to leave the residence to defuse the conflict. He moved his girlfriend out of the doorway, but outside of that, things never turned physical. Both sides stated on Sunday they regret that law enforcement ever became involved. We deeply regret that a personal disagreement escalated and improperly involved authorities, Garnett and his girlfriend wrote in a joint statement. It was never our intention to involve others in a moment that should have remained private. Like most couples, they continued, we have disagreements, but our commitment to each other remains strong and we move forward with renewed respect and understanding and love. Garnett, of course, is one of the greatest basketball players to ever lace up sneakers. He earned 5 All-Star selections in his illustrious career, as well as 4 All-NBA first-team nods. In retirement, he transitioned into sport talking head role, most recently starting his podcast, KG Certified. All right. What I'm hearing is there was a lot more that happened than just moving her out of the doorway. All right, let's leave it at that. Y'all know I do not want to get no cease and desist letter or no defamation lawsuits. I heard there was more than him just moving her out the doorway. And over the past couple of days, there have been talks between their lawyers about her going public with it. And talks have not been going so well. And this was almost a little bit like kind of just like a little warning. And if the warning continues to go badly or goes badly, because it already is going, so continues to go badly for Kevin, she's going to ask for a little bit more than she's asking for now. That's what I'm hearing. Allegedly, sources say allegedly. We'll see what happened. Like I always remind you guys, when we heard about Shannon Sharpe, it had been going on behind closed doors for, I don't know, a month or 2 months. They even said that in the press release that both sides were talking. They showed videos. There was negotiation. Shannon offered her $10 million. She didn't go ahead of it. And then she didn't accept it. And all of a sudden, boom, they went public. Same thing that's happening here. Kevin Garnett, April the 27th, something happening. They're talking. And she's like, hey, dude, you see what's going on out here with Shannon, Diddy, all of these guys? You want to be next? All right. Pay me. No? Okay. Here's a little warning. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned in the next couple of days. If we don't hear anything, we know that it was all settled. For now, the statement is everything is fine. We'll keep you guys up to date. Woo! It's going to be a hot summer, y'all. All right. That brings me to quick news. Ring my bell. Our first quick story. Ye's Donda 2 sells 5,900 units in its first week, is projected to sell 21,000 units in a full week. Do you know how embarrassing that is? It says Kanye West, I dropped Donda 2 on a burner so the real fans could really get what they wanted. Give me a break. Yo, do you know how embarrassing that is? Kanye West is one of the biggest rap stars ever in history, one of the biggest musical artists in history, and this man sold 6,000 units and it's projected to do 21,000. Yo, I know people like that have no major label push whatsoever that nobody has ever heard of that sold more of that out the trunk of their car. What are you talking about? 6,000 units. Kanye, if you're hearing this, how does it feel, bro? How does it feel to sell out every single person, to ruin every single relationship just so that you could get your name in the algorithm, just so that you can get your name in the media, just so that you can get your name talked about, to sell 6,000 units? Was it worth it, bro? Your big marketing strategy, and you flopped. Oh, I just put it out so that the fans could get what they want on a burner account. Give me a break. If this was Kanye West 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even if he would have put out a little burner account or a little thing like this, Drake did something like this and he sold like 200,000 units. Come on. If Kendrick did something like this, he would sell 100, 200. Like, come on. Yay, it is over for you, bro. If I was Kanye West, I would totally reverse course, shut everything down, say, hey, guys, I'm going to go get some help, come back out in 2 years and be like, hey, you know what, guys, I'm sorry, etc. I don't care how much money Kanye West has. It will eventually run out. Kanye West is like 40-something years old. The money will eventually run out, Kanye. You live a very expensive lifestyle. You're in Japan, you're here, you're over there. He's going to have to change course. This is embarrassing. This is the biggest fall of a music artist ever. I've never seen a multi-platinum artist sell 6,000 units in a week. It's very embarrassing. Anyways, let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Our second quick story, the Diddy trial. Paid line holders waiting outside court going rate is $25 to $32 per hour. All right, jury selection has kicked off in the Diddy federal case, and it is a total madhouse with some people getting paid to stand in line to wait for others. All right, as I told you guys that we have some people on the ground at the Diddy trial, but for people who like don't have access and don't have anybody that they know that's in there, there are public people that could literally just line up and wait and they want to go in and see. There's an overflow room for journalists as well too. But here is a lineup of people outside waiting, and you're listen to the times that they were there camping out for the Diddy trial. Take a listen.
9:30 when? PM?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Was there anyone else here at 9:30 PM or just you?
No, there was another one, 6:30.
6:30 PM. Wow. And what time did you get here?
I got here
At what time?
midnight.
At midnight. Okay. And what number were you in line?
First one.
Wow. So, yeah, the line starts pretty early.
So I have heard that there's literally like lines around the block, and what these people are doing is these are just like the average people on the streets, and you'll pay them $25 to $35 an hour. And when it comes time to open the doors, then the real person comes and stands in. So those people you see in line are just line holders getting paid a couple of $100, and the real person who wants to go in, whether they're content creators or whatever it is, if they don't have press passes, there's a little line for people in the public. So if you're in the New York area and you want to get in, you got a couple $100, go wait in line with the line holders. Well, or pay a line holder if you want. Thought this was funny. Our third quick story. Drake has been locked in working on his new solo upcoming album, according to Smiley. Let's just jump over to the video. I do not like any of this, but I'll tell you why. Take a listen.
Brother, I'm telling you, I seen him the other day. We're at a party, and he was in the other room by himself eating pasta with writing music. He's on a different mode right now, still. Even at the Nokia video shoot, while he was done in the breaks, he had a bunch of producers that he was just recording. So, like, he's in that crazy mode right now.
Listen, the reason why Drake has had the success he has had is that he makes great party music. So to hear that Drake is locked away on a video set while everyone's out and having fun and he's locked away writing, that sounds like that's angry Drake. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't sound like party Drake hit #1 music. If Drake comes out with a solo album, oh, and another thing before even into that, we all like collaborative Drake. I understand that he's mad at everybody right now, but get over that. Young Thug just said the other day that he's a big fan of Drake. He doesn't understand why Kendrick put him and other Atlanta artists. If I were to advise Drake, and I know some OVO crew are still mad at me that I left the Drake fan club, but I know some of y'all are still watching. It's still always love. But yo, don't let him get into that negative space. Don't let him get into that solo space where he's writing like dark, somber music. When Drake gets into a dark place on love, yes, girls love that stuff. All right, let him get into the feelings with girls, but get into the feelings of like angry and getting back at like the labels and the people that didn't believe in him or whatever. If that's the tone of the album, I think it will be a major fail. Already, the Party Next Door album wasn't great. We got one single off it. It still hasn't gone #1. I just checked today. Nokia, I think, is down at like #4, if I'm not mistaken. It peaked at #1. It peaked at #2 and never hit #1. Kendrick is still at #1 with SZA and Luther. So if I were to be advising Drake, get him out the room, get him into the clubs, get him on the video set. That's what Drake needs. He needs to be in that vibe. Don't like this. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our fourth quick story. Trump threatens to impose 100% tariffs on all films produced outside the U.S. Donald Trump announced a 100% tariff on all foreign films made, called the situation a national security threat, and accused other countries of using messaging and propaganda to lure U.S. filmmakers. He claims the movie industry in America is no longer good. Okay, he used some other words, but he just said it's not good. Okay, films like Avenger, Doomsday, The Odyssey, and others are currently being shot overseas. This is what Donald Trump put on True Social. He said, the movie industry in America is not doing well. Other countries are offering all sorts of incentives to draw our filmmakers and studios away from the U.S. Hollywood and many other areas within the U.S. are being devastated. This is a concerted effort by other nations and therefore a national security threat. It is, in addition to everything else, messaging and propaganda. Therefore, I'm authorizing the Department of Commerce and the United States Trade Representative to immediately begin the process of instituting a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign lands. We want movies made in America again. All right, Mr. Trump, this is what makes it's so hard to try to give Donald Trump the benefit of the doubt. I've gone on record to say, hey, I'm on the side of giving Donald Trump a couple of months with this tariff stuff. Let him renegotiate. If he ends up getting a better trade deal in China, it's better for the whole world. Yes, he didn't go about it in the right way, or the best way is a better word, but give him another couple of months. Then he comes out with stuff like this. Like, this is a clear shot at the movie industry that doesn't like Donald Trump. That's what this is all about. It's really simple, because I did my research, and if you look at the incentives that the US offer outside filmmakers, it's almost the same. The whole point why Trump says that he wants to renegotiate, for example, China, is that the trade imbalance is so vast, right? We allow Americans to go and make stuff in China, but China doesn't allow Americans to make stuff there or import stuff there back and forth. So that the trade is in balance with China. The film industry, the trade is very, very balanced. It's balanced on both sides. So yes, there's incentives in foreign countries, but there's also incentives in the US. 50 Cent is doing something right now in Shreveport, Louisiana. So this is ridiculous. This is Trump literally just going after Hollywood, because Hollywood is normally on the Democratic side. So these are things that make it very difficult for people like me who are independent, that try to get both sides together, that try to have a show that's like, hey, give Kamala Harris the benefit of the doubt, give Trump the benefit of the doubt, let's try to come together. And then he does stuff like this. That's a clear indication of him not really using tariffs to try to prioritize what he's trying to prioritize, and that is having a balanced trade plan between China and the US and the rest of the world and the US. So anyways, I do not like this. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Our fifth quick story. Monique spoke on Shannon Sharpe's controversy during her comedy show. Yes, I told that N-word Shannon Sharpe to leave them white B-words alone. All right, this was really funny. I'm going to have to bleep out a lot. Hopefully you could get the joke. I'm sure you can. Here's Monique. Here's a little clip from her on Shannon Sharpe's podcast. This is what she was referring to.
You tried to say what you tried to say.
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at your
I ain't backing down. You better take your ass and get somebody to love you. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I know.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your ass and get you an old out there that can love you old.
I know Shannon Sharpe is somewhere right now smiling from ear to ear that the Diddy trial has started today, and nobody is talking about Shannon Sharpe anymore. Oh my gosh, I can tell this guy is on cloud nine. Yesterday's podcast, we played for you an interview that Michelle Evans did with The Sun USA, like literally like verbatim detailing her lawsuit and her issue with Shannon Sharpe, the R-word issue. And it was horrible. A couple of people picked it up. A couple of people talked about it. Shannon Sharpe didn't even make a statement about it, like at all. You know why? Because they knew that the Diddy story would just come and just wipe it away. Michelle Evans should have done that interview literally like a week or 2 weeks ago when everybody was talking about Shannon Sharpe. I know Shannon is happy right now that nobody's talking about him. Anyways, I still predict that it's over for him, but I know he's somewhere happy right now. Anyways, shout out to Monique. That was hilarious. Our sixth quick story. Brittnay Renner gushes over husband Kevin Gates. She says, "I'm with the person I quite literally dreamt of." All right, we told you guys a little bit about this yesterday, the post that she made on Instagram with her ring saying that Kevin Gates is her husband and that she's getting married. But here is a video of her talking, and this is Brittnay Renner gushes over Kevin Gates, who she refers to as her husband. She says his name echoes in every chamber of her heart, and he is the man that she has dreamed of. This was at the season 12 of the Basketball Wives premiere. Take a listen.
Of course, Kevin is here supporting you tonight. How does it feel to have him stand behind you, and what is it about him that you were like, no, he's the one for me?
His name echoes in every chamber of my heart, and it's hard to describe a love like that. All I can say is that I'm with the person that I quite literally dreamed of.
For those of you who missed yesterday's episode, Kevin Gates is still married to Draka Gates, his longtime girlfriend and wife. And I don't know, I hinted stuff to you guys yesterday, so if you missed it, go check it out. And whatever, they're Muslim, and so is Brittnay Renner, but it's not really all it's cracked up to be, all right? That's all I'll say to that. Check out yesterday's episode if you want to get a little bit more insight. All right, this brings me to my favorite segment, Comments of the Day. All right, yesterday we let you guys know that we have an official sponsor for Comment of the Day, Aura. And some of you who missed it, you might be asking, who is Aura? Well, let me tell you, people, if you've ever wondered how scammers get your phone number and why your inbox is flooded with scam, here is why. They are companies called data brokers that sell your data, and they do it without your consent and make billions off of marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. That is why today's sponsors, Aura, I recommend to my family, friends, loved ones, and out louders. Yo, y'all need Aura in your life, all right? They take care of the hard part, automatically removing your info off of sites and keeping it off. Aura is an all-in-one digital security platform. You may have already have a digital security tool, but not having Aura is like locking your front door and leaving your back door open. When you are with Aura, you get alerts if your personal info is found on the dark web. They have real-time fraud alerts if anything happens with your credit card and banking, a secure VPN, antivirus, password, and more. They have a US-based support system available around the clock if anything goes wrong. And here is one of the best parts. If anything does happen, Aura includes a $5 million identity theft insurance protection. Yes, that's right. If anything does happen, which it won't because they're the best, they have a $5 million insurance plan. Now, hit the link below and that will give you a free trial. So just go to aura.com/Trent Out Loud, the link below, or I'll put up the QR code. Here is the best part. I already told you a lot of good parts, but here is the best part when you use my link. You will get a 2-week free trial, and they can discover if you had any breaches or if anything went wrong in the past within that 2-week free trial. They will clean it up, tell you everything that is happening for free, okay? For those of you who have never heard of Aura, they used to be the jersey sponsor for Minnesota Timberwolves. Here is and Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. So just to reassure you that they are the leader where it comes to cybersecurity. We work this out for you guys. This link is for you. We only talk about this in the comment section because I got this for the Out Louders. Sign up for the 14-day free trial. I give it to my family, friends, and y'all know that y'all are my family, so I had to get this for y'all. All right, let's get to the comments. The first one is Natalie. I'm glued to your channel. Thank you. Free Diddy. He's innocent. Why now? Because he pissed off and sued the liquor company. Revenge. They won't prove crap. Mark my words. Okay, I wanted to start out with this comment quickly to just tie back the Diddy thing for 1 second. A lot of people, I told you guys this yesterday, a lot of people first started out couple of months ago, Diddy's guilty, da-da-da-da. As things have progressed and we saw all of these civil cases and we heard all of these people come out and talk, and then we saw all of these cases get dropped and the civil cases get dropped, I feel, maybe I'm wrong, I feel like the sentiment, the overall sentiment has changed. And before I thought it was like 95% of the people thought he was guilty. Now I will say like, maybe it's like 75. I would say like 1 in 4 feel like he's innocent. And I found a couple of people in the comment section that felt the same way. So that was one. All right. The second one is from Gypsy. I think it's Gypsy. I want to know how many broke men get accused of SA over 20 years after the fact. Show of hands, I'll wait. The women make me sick with their opportunistic, self-loathing behaviors, truly. See, that's the second one. I think I have maybe one more. Oh no, here, this one is actually opposite, just giving you guys both sides. This is Roberta, shout out to Roberta. Roberta says, hogwash, they have lied to the public before. We don't know all what the prosecution has. The shaved off serial numbers off the devices found, he's not getting off. Okay, Roberta, just want to highlight something. The shaved off devices, she's talking about the GUNs. Just remember, he's not being charged for that. That will get looped up in the RICO case, showing the fact that he was trying to intimidate people with GUNs, but the actual GUN he's not being charged for. He has 5 charges. RICO is the first one. 2 other ones are right? SEX trafficking. And then the other 2 are SEX, transporting women for SEX, selling themselves, right? Those are his 5 charges, not the GUN. So just be careful. And that's what we were talking about yesterday. The jury and most people come in to this trial with this notion of they found all of these things, all of this baby oil. There's all these women. There's all these cases. All of that was civil. You have to turn that side of your brain off and focus on the charges and the evidence. And the evidence is, the victims are Cassie, which is his girlfriend for 10 years, and 4 other girlfriends. And we still don't know what the evidence is. So anyways, as you guys know, I'm very taken aback by this case, but very, very interesting to see what you guys say in the comment section. All right, next one is Ducky, I think. Ducky Quacky Quack. CT, sorry, I don't comment really anywhere, laugh out loud, but I always want to jump in. That's how much you keep my focus. Feels great. Proud to be on I'm an out louder. All right, Ducky Quacky Quack. Thank you very much for watching the show. Thank you very much for telling me that I keep your focus. That's the biggest compliment in the world. Make sure you click on that link below. You are the people that we got this Aura link for, all right? Out Louders. This is our way to give back to you, all right? So make sure you click on the link below. Next one is Laney's. Oh yeah, I remember this one. Kamala Harris dancing ain't the issue, but it cannot go unnoticed that her timing is tone deaf as it pertains to the political climate. Thank you very much. That's exactly what I was trying to say. You just used better words than me. Thank you. You also said, kind of getting tired of people coming to Kendrick's defense and saying Trent only recognizes Drake. Trent resigned from being the president of Drake's fan club a long time ago. Thank you so much, man. I love you, man. Thank you very much for saying that. For those of you who don't know, we talked about this. I think it was in yesterday's podcast where somebody in the comment section was coming at me saying I'm unfair and I never say anything good about Kendrick, which is not true. And Lamis is telling you that there's evidence of that, all right? And the last thing Lamis says is, shout out to Aura, real recognize real. That's why they chose Trent Out Loud. May the Almighty continue to bring the sponsors for our beloved Trent. Lamis, I love you, man. Thank you so much. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, by the way, but thank you so much. And once again, yes, shout out to Aura. Make sure y'all click in the link below. All right, next one is Tez. Tez says, pause your show, clicked on the link, read the terms, signed up, done. That's how good the link is, man. Tez was like, yo, I'm going to pause it. Look, what? They're going to go through my phone, going to go through my laptop, and I get to see if anything was compromised in the past for free. Boom, signed up. Thank you, Tez. Next one is Bubba Chevy. Dear P. Diddy, if you ever see this video and read this comment, please know that we all love you and know that you're innocent. We also can't wait for you to get out of jail so that we could finish my upcoming album just like you always promised me. Keep your head up, brother, and see you soon. All right, that's one of Diddy's artists. Not only that I just want to highlight that is just another person, but obviously Bubba is a little bit biased, seeing that he's cool with Diddy. But I just wanted to highlight 10 people liked that comment. 10 people. Crazy the support that he has gotten over the shift. That's more we just want to amaze at the shift. 2 or 3 months ago, nobody thought Diddy was innocent. Yesterday, I played a clip of people, somebody in the music industry from Harlem showing up being like, yo, Diddy's innocent, wearing shirts. I don't know. All right, and last one is my BFF, Linda. Linda says, thank you so much for looking out for us with Aura. I wanted to try it. One of my other podcasters were doing this. Glad I waited for you. Linda, what other podcast? Are you cheating on me? I'm the only podcaster that you should be listening to, all right? Anyways, I'm just joking, Linda. Thank you so much for waiting for me. Thank you for signing up. I got a lot of DMs, people saying, yo, Trent, thank you so much for this. It was amazing. They already found stuff. People are already saving money. So just wanted to share it with you guys. And keep on DMing me. Keep on telling me in the comments. Let me know, because you guys know I always just want to try to bring you guys great things. I'm trying to give you guys back. The people who comment and watch every day, whatever, I'm trying to give back. So I want to keep on hearing positive things so that we know we stick with this sponsor. They already helped me. They helped my mom. They helped my sister and stuff. So I wanted to give it to you guys. Please keep on letting me know what you find. Let me know what the algorithm with Aura finds out, so that we can keep on sharing it to people and get rid of these spammers and bot people. They make me so upset. It drives me nuts. I can't handle it. So keep sharing with me. Keep letting me know. Here is the QR code. Once again, just point this to your phone. It will bring you to my link. 14-day free trial. And in that 14 days, you can go back and find out if you ever had any breaches or any scammers or anybody is using your name or identity out there. Shout out to Aura. All right, this brings us to social discussion. All right, this is a good one. Listen carefully. Issa Rae says she's recognized with her friends she's not as considerate as she would like to be. She says, I don't check in as often with friends. However, if you need me, I'll always be there. Basically what she's trying to say, and I'm going to play the video. You know what? Let me just play the video. She'll tell it better than I do. Take a listen.
I don't check in as often as I should with friends. I'm not going to be the same type of giving friend that you are to me, but I will show up in the ways that I can. If you need me, I will always be there. Yeah. I'm not a considerate friend in the way that I would like to be.
That's a pronouncement there.
It's true. And it's like one of my biggest flaws.
All right. Now, I feel like I really resonate with this because I feel I'm kind of the same way. And I wanted to ask you guys if you thought that is not being a good friend or not. So I am not the pick up the phone every day, check in on you, say hi, this or whatever. But I'm the friend that if you need anything, I'm the first one there. Like anything that goes down, I'm there. Anything, anywhere you are in the world, like my friends know, like I am that dude. My family too, nieces and nephews, etc. But I'm not the like, oh, I went here and I traveled and I saw this shirt that you might like, or it's not like a daily, weekly thing. And I feel the same way like Issa. Like I feel sometimes like maybe I should do a better job at trying to do the little things because the little things do matter sometimes. But I feel like it's very hard to be everything, right? It's very hard to do the little things and do the big things, etc. And I just feel ultimately your real friends and or a real friend should really be considered through the major big things. I could be wrong though. Clearly that's why I brought it here. Like maybe I'm wrong with this, but you know, it's almost kind of like you guys heard me talk about this, like with gifts and stuff. Like I'm not really it's Halloween. Let me buy you this. Like, let's say for like my niece and nephews or whatever, right? Like even when they were younger, like, oh, it's Easter. Let me buy you an Easter bunny. Or, it's your birthday and it's Christmas and this and it's Valentine's Day and all these little things. But, when you need something, they come to Uncle Trent and I'm the one that will spend the big money if they need something. You know what I mean? Like my niece was like, man, I have no clothes to go back to school. And like she bought, my sister maybe bought her like 1 or 2 things. I took her out downtown and I bought her like 10 outfits. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, just come to me when you need something. Like, I just don't do the whole little 1, 2 thing, but does that make me a bad person? And I feel like Issa, like she went on to say, I didn't play the whole thing, but she went on to say it's also because she feels like her time is limited. Like Issa is, you know, she's a big producer. She has a lot of stuff going on. And I feel like I'm the same way. For those of you who watch Daily, you guys know that I had a national brand and, you know, I had, hundreds of employees and a bunch of stores. And I've always been very, very, very busy, right? Even when I was acting and modeling or in the music industry, or even now podcasting and traveling and consulting and doing all the things that I do, I don't have a 9-to-5 job where I have time to think about those things. So I think that's why, like, I try to make up for the bigger things. But even as I'm talking now, I've said it before, and I've even said it to friends and loved ones, and I'm like, I don't know if I should do a better job at the small things. So I'm asking you, my Out Louder community, you all always keep it real. Am I a good friend? Am I a good uncle? Am I a good brother? Knowing that I might not do all the little things, but any big things. And I know this because anybody in my family, big thing, I'm the first one that call. All my nieces, my nephews, my godchildren, anything, I'm the first one they call. And I always take care of everything. So I know ultimately, but maybe I could do better. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to question of the day. Who had the best I'm in My Feelings R&B album? All right, the first one is Usher Confessions, No Skips. Okay, Usher Confessions, amazing album, but I don't think you can classify that as best All in My Feelings album, because most of that was Jermaine Dupri who wrote that, and that was Jermaine Dupri's confession. It wasn't Usher's confession. So although great album, I'd put an asterisk beside that. Here we go. Mary J. Blige, My Life. To me, that's it. That's the winner. She says, or he says, I don't know who this is here by the avatar. That was the past relationship with Casey from the Casey and JoJo album. Facts. K. Michelle, that's another good one. Somebody said anything Drake. Yeah, yes, he definitely does get emotional, but I don't know if you could classify that as like best in my feelings R&B album, just because he can't hit those notes and express himself like a true R&B head. So I would put an asterisk beside Drake as well too. Somebody says, Here, My Dear, Marvin Gaye. Good point. Mary J. Blige, My Life. I knew that. Darnell Jones, whoo, it's a great album. Carl Thomas, Emotional. Woo, I forgot about Carl Thomas. Very, very, very good album. Another person put Drake, no. Keisha Cole, that's another good one. Mary, yes. Summer Walker. Yeah, okay. Another person put Usher, Mary, Usher. Tony Braxton, Secrets. I wouldn't say best, but it's definitely up there. Some other ones here. There's a lot of Usher here. I don't know if they really know how much Jermaine Dupri wrote on Confessions to be putting Usher in there. It's all Usher. Oh my gosh. Taylor Swift. Look, I don't know any Taylor Swift songs. If a Taylor Swift song came on, I couldn't tell you. However, I do know that she became a billionaire off of the songs that she writes. You know what I mean? Like, and her whole tour, everything is about her songwriting. So I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Somebody said anything R. Kelly. Yes, we know, but we don't listen to R. Kelly anymore. Ooh, Deborah Cox. One Wish album. Very, 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 very true. Mary J. Blige. The Weeknd. I don't know if you guys would be surprised, but I don't really listen to a lot of the Weeknd. Not the biggest fan. Sorry. Summer Walker again. Man, I got to listen to more Summer Walker. Somebody said A Boogie. Okay, Chris Brown. Okay, I was waiting for some Chris Brown. But yeah, I don't feel like Chris Brown is like a real in my feelings kind of artist, you know? I'm very disappointed that nobody said Sade. That's my go-to. I think I've said Sade for another R&B thing. Anyways, I like it when there's not a lot of answers because it leaves more for you guys. What is the best R&B in your feelings album? I can think of 2 or 3 that people haven't even said yet. So let me know and maybe we'll talk about it again tomorrow. All right, this brings us to sports news. All right, I'm going to talk to you about 4 games, but guess what the most important game was? Game 7. My Warriors have made it past round 1. The Lakers got eliminated and my Warriors are in. I am so happy. The only thing that I messed up on with round 1 is thinking that Denver Nuggets were going to get kicked out. They made it through. Whatever, not a big deal. Anyways, Warriors beat the Rockets 103-87. We're going to, who are we playing next? I think we're playing Minnesota Timberwolves. Who do I go for, man? Minnesota, I like Anthony Edwards, although I'm mad at him with the whole, the kid thing. What do you call that? Whatever. You all know what I'm talking about. And I like Steph Curry. I feel like I still have to go for Steph, man. I just don't feel like the Warriors have enough to win the finals or even win the Western Conference Finals. And I feel like Minnesota, they have a younger team that could get them closer and maybe even beat OKC. I don't know how I feel about that, but we'll wait till it gets there. Pacers beat Cavaliers. That was big. So Indiana is leading that series 1-0. And depending on when you're watching this, if it's in the morning or night, the Knicks play the Celtics tonight, game 1. That's going to be a really, really good game. The East Coast is heating up a little bit. I like that, although we know that the Celtics are going to win. And also the West Coast game will be the Nuggets and the Thunder. The Thunder is going to destroy the Nuggets. Please get the Joker out of there, please. Let me know who you guys think, who you want in the East Coast, who you want in the West Coast. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, that's it for today's show. Thank you so much for kicking it with me. I loved all the comments. Thank you once again for everybody who signed up for Aura. I'm going to put the QR code up here once again. Make sure you guys sign up. 14-day free trial. Stop all the bots, stop all the scams, stop all the junk mail and all of that, man. We love Aura around here, man. So anyways, please let me know how much stuff they find out during your free trial and how much money you're saving, all right? Thank you very much for kicking with me. I hope you guys enjoyed the Diddy updates. Make sure y'all stay tuned daily. You know we're going to bring you the latest and greatest. And like I said earlier, I'm going to try to do something that most content creators are not doing, and I'm really going to focus on the small little nuances, the places where I feel like the prosecution is doing a really good job, and the places where I think the defense is doing a really good job, and trying my best to predict the outcome of the trial of the century. All right. Before I let you guys go, I just want to remind you of all the ways to keep up with the Trent Out Loud podcast. For those of you on YouTube, if you're ever going on a flight or you're in your car, you don't have access to the YouTube app or internet, have no fear, because we're available on all podcast platforms. You can just download the episode and take us with you. All right. Just go to any podcast platform, type in Trent Out Loud. The show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new show. And just like YouTube, we upload daily. You know, we got you, especially during the Diddy trial. Now, vice versa, for my podcast listeners, thank you very much for your support and all the downloads. However, we want you to come over and hang out with the Out Louders over here on YouTube. It's a vibe. The comment section is lit. There's a lot of discussion and just back and forth going here. And that is really what I want to set up. And that's the point of the podcast. So come over here to YouTube and check us out. All right. Head on over to the YouTube site or app, type in Trent Out Loud. The show will pop up. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Do not forget to hit the like button. We want to get the algorithming. And most importantly, please try to comment below. I do this podcast with you. If you don't answer any of the questions that I'm asking or weigh in on some of the comments, whether you agree with me or disagree, I'm just here talking to myself, all right? So I need you guys. This is team work, all right? So make sure you comment below. If you don't want to comment, that's cool too. If you don't want to get in on the conversation, at least try to comment, hey, Trent, watching from here or this place. We are a global community, and it's just nice to show everybody where we're all watching from, because we're all one big happy family over here at the Trent Out Loud podcast. All right, so make sure you comment. If you are really, really enjoying the show and you want to share it with your family, friends, and loved ones, we really appreciate that, because that helps in growing the channel. For those of you who want to follow me outside of the podcast, I'm available on all social platforms, and it's always the same handle, Trent Out Loud. I'm the most active on Instagram. Now, talking about Instagram, we just started a new blog page on Instagram, very small, nothing too big. where we are putting the extended videos that we play in the podcast on Instagram. The handle is Formally Out Loud, FORMALLY Out Loud. Some videos here that we cannot play for copyright reasons, or we have to edit, or there's some swear words and stuff that we can't play full here on YouTube. We'll put it over there on Formally Out Loud, so you can follow that and check us out. All right, that is it. I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you tomorrow for Hump Day Wednesday. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace.